But we have Soriano and Jagger. This fight in the lightweight division, the first fight on UFC 262, Vera versus Chandler. They're both pretty similar in age, 31 years old and 31 years old. Pretty similar height, pretty similar reach, so no real advantages there. But Soriano had a little stint inside the UFC. I believe had like 3 losses or 2 losses, something like that. Had 3 losses in a row, really close losses, all to really, really good grapplers. They kind of took him down over and over and over, and either got the submission or just got the dominant grappling and wrestling decision win. And since then, they had a first round knockout, lost 2 fights, a second round knockout, a first round submission, lost 1 fight, and then got 2 more knockouts after that. He's definitely a striker, a lot of power in his hands as well, with 7 knockout wins, 4 submission wins, and 3 decision wins right there. But if you look at how he's losing his fights, this is what worries me about Soriano, because inside of the UFC, against Charles Rosa, Chad Skelly, and Tatsuya Karalaji, if I'm saying the name correctly, all 3 of them just took him down over and over and over again and grappled and got the submission or got the dominant grappling and wrestling decision, which makes me really, really worried on this fight with a guy like Jagger, who we just saw with a guy like Carlton Minus. He just went out there and got for takedown after takedown after takedown and just got ground and pound for 3 straight rounds and got the unanimous decision. I kind of think that the most likely way that Jagger wins this fight would be to go for the takedowns and get on top of Soriano and just grapple and wrestle and ground and pound for 3 straight rounds for a decision win. Soriano, his main way would probably be to land that big right hand and get the knockout in the first or second round. Plenty of first and knockout wins on his record. A leg kick knockout win as well. Just absolutely insane right there. But at the beginning of his career, going absolutely insane. But Jagger was 18 wins, 8 losses, had 2 wins right here over Damir Hadzovic and Mizuto Hirota, fought Charles Oliveira, had an interesting fight right there, a split decision loss to Shamil Nakayev, just beat Carlton Minus, and is now fighting a short notice opponent in Soriano. That is one thing, again, that is another factor for Jagger, considering Soriano taking the fight on 2 weeks' notice. After not fighting inside the UFC for about 3 years now, Jagger is getting yet another advantage in the fight. In this fight right here, Jagger will have the wrestling advantage, the grappling advantage, the ground and pound advantage, maybe even the strength advantage, and maybe not the power advantage, considering Soriano is a very powerful puncher as well. But the most advantages in this fight are going towards Jagger, and the main way I see him winning, obviously, just take him down and grapple, possibly get a TKO win due to ground and pound, or get a submission win. But he's become more of a decision fighter since joining the UFC. You look right here, since he joined the UFC, decision win, decision win, decision win. So I think most likely he'd probably just wrestle and grapple to a decision win. This should be a really, really interesting fight. But Jagger, solid power in his striking game, with 7 knockout wins on his record, mainly being at the beginning of his career, getting all those finishes by knockout and by submission. But recently, as I said before, he's getting more decision wins. Not really trying to get the knockout, just trying to kind of eke out that decision win. Mainly being a decision win, with his last 6 wins coming by unanimous decision. Not the best submission defense, half of his losses coming by submission. But the same thing goes with Soriano. Both fighters, not really the best submission defense. Both of them having half of their losses coming by submission. After just 2 takedowns per fight, he showed some amazing top control against Carlton Minus in his last fight, with 5 takedowns and 9 minutes of total control time. Some pretty good straight right hands, and his jab is very, very good. Mainly a 1-2 striker, trying to get you in the clinch, get you down, grapple you, ground and pound, and everything like that. Good double leg takedown in the middle of the cage as well. That's the main way I really see him getting Soriano down and getting on top of him on the ground. Considering Soriano, he's going to be trying to get that knockout. So in the middle of the cage, he goes for that big right hand. Jagger is going to duck under and go for the double leg and get him down in the middle of the cage. Jagger also wrestled in high school, which definitely is going to play a big factor in this fight right here. Soriano, 7 knockout wins in his fight so far in the first and second round. Big weakness in the wrestling and grappling game. Most of his losses coming by TKO due to ground and pound, or coming by submission, or a dominant wrestling decision. A very accurate striker, 60% of his strikes landing. 55% takedown defense, which is definitely a good thing. Fighting a guy like Jagger right here. Nice right hand, body kicks, and leg kicks as well. Good outside leg kicks. Those are the best. I mean, he got a knockout due to leg kicks inside a couple of years ago, I believe. But in the very, I believe it was the second round, he got a leg kick knockout win. But we'll see if he can implement that leg kick That leg kick, I'm sorry, I'm losing my track of what I'm saying right now, but let's see if he can land a lot of leg kicks right here and kind of stunt the movement of Chris Jagos, making it less likely for him to land the takedowns on Soriano and make it easier for him to win in these striking exchanges right here. But overall, I think it's either going to be Soriano winning the fight by knockout in the very first round to a straight right hand, or it's going to be Chris Jagos winning the fight in a dominant decision, grappling, ground and pound, wrestling the decision win, something like that. We don't really have the betting odds for the fight right here, but I already know the betting favorite is going to be Chris Jagos. It's pretty obvious who the favorite is going to be, but in my opinion, I probably had Chris Jagos around maybe minus 210, somewhere around that range. So the betting odds aren't really out just yet, but I'd have them just over a 2-1 favorite, probably around minus 210. But I probably wouldn't put a bet on Chris Jagos considering the power that Soriano does have. But if you are watching the video, when I'm already done with the video and the betting odds for this fight have come out, come back in the comment section below and put if you guys think I should bet on if you guys think that you want to bet on this fight, and I'll give you if those betting odds are some good betting odds, because right now I think the betting odds should be around minus 210 for Chris Jagos and around plus 165, plus 170, somewhere around that range for Soriano. But I think if there's any prop bets for Chris Jagos winning the fight by decision, I'd probably hop on it, because the odds that he's just going to straight up win the fight are probably going to be pretty spread out, so you probably would want to stay away from that and go towards more of a Chris Jagos winning by decision. And if you're going to put a prop bet on Soriano, probably put him winning the fight by knockout, because that's the only way, in my opinion, I really see him winning the fight. But those are the two real outcomes I see right here. No real betting odds coming out just yet, considering the fight just got announced a couple of days ago after Joe Alvarez and Chris Jagos fight just did get canceled. But once the betting odds come out, once the prop bets come out, everything like that, just notify me in the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Kevin Aguilar and Tucker Lutz. This fight is a lightweight fight, and it is 50-50 on the betting odds right here. You look at minus 125, minus 118, and then you look at Kevin Aguilar at plus 110. So a really, really close fight. The betting odds started with Kevin Aguilar at minus 130. So Kevin Aguilar was the favorite at the beginning, is now the underdog, and it just keeps on switching over and over and over again. So pretty much a 50-50 fight. Kevin Goliath, more is going to be wanting to keep the fight in the striking game. Tucker Lutz, going to be wanting to use that wrestling and grappling background, get the fight to the ground, and just try to get a decision win or a ground and pound TKO win, something like that. But Kevin Goliath, 32 years old, same height, a little bit of a reach advantage, not going to play the biggest factor in the fight, a little bit older, a little bit more experienced than Tucker Lutz as well, but he is on a 3-fight losing streak to some pretty good fighters, like Zubaira Tukhugov, Dan Ige, and then Charles Rosa in a really, really close fight right there. Before that, was doing a really, really, really good with a record of 17 wins and 1 loss. The former LFA lightweight, and I believe he was a featherweight champion as well. Dana White Contender Series, the ultimate fighter, had 1 win inside the UFC as well. A very experienced fighter. You look way down here, 8 knockout wins, 3 submission wins, and 6 decision wins right there. Main way he's gonna win the fight, either get a knockout in the striking game or defend the takedowns, keep the fight on the feet, and make it very, very technical at range striking, and just try to get the very, very close to 29-28 unanimous decision. Tucker Lutz, 11 wins, 1 loss. Also, is a very powerful puncher with a lot of knockout wins on his record. 6 knockout wins, 2 submission wins, and 3 decision wins right there. But if you're looking at how he's winning those fights by knockout, referee stoppage from strikes, KO TKO, referee stoppage from strikes, KO TKO. This is the only one where he really got the knockout in the striking game. Other than that, they are all ground and pound knockout wins, except for this one fight with Cole Presley. That's the only one where he really got the knockout in the striking game. Other than that, they're all ground and pound TKO wrestling and knockout wins on his record so far. So he is 100%. I'm gonna want the fight to go to the ground as soon as possible and try to get the TKO and try to get a dominant decision win, something like that. The tabology predictions are really, really close. Actually, they're not. 73% going Lutz, and then 27% going Aguilar right here. I'm really, really 50-50 on this fight, because I don't know if Kevin Aguilar can keep the fight on the feet. If he can, I think it's gonna be a super close fight, and he might have a super slight advantage in the striking game. But Tucker Lutz, we know his wrestling, we know his grappling. If he gets you down and he can keep you there, most likely he's going to TKO you, or he's going to ground up on you for 3 straight rounds, and get the 30-27 unanimous decision. I think it's very close right now, just because like we don't know if Kevin Aguilar can defend the takedowns. We know he does have some pretty good wrestling defense, some pretty good takedown defense, some pretty good grappling as well. But we don't know if his grappling is up to par with a guy like Tucker Lutz, who's so relentless with how many takedowns he goes for over and over and over again. I'm gonna say it right now on this Google Doc right here. You see right here, I have the slight underdog in Kevin Aguilar winning the fight. But I'm gonna actually switch my prediction right now. That's how close this fight is. I did so much research. I think it's 50-50 to be honest. I did so much research on these fighters. I'm going back and forth in my predictions, but I'm gonna give you my final prediction for this fight right here, and that prediction is Tucker Lutz to win the fight by 29-28 unanimous decision. He has solid takedown defense, 81% takedown defense on Dana White's Industries, and really good offensive wrestling of 55%. Good knees to the body in the clinch, good elbows in the clinch as well. So when you go for that double leg takedown, like look up Ryan Spann and then Johnny Walker. When Johnny Walker was landing those elbows to the side of the head, that is pretty much what Tucker Lutz does. When someone's trying to land a takedown on him, very strong double leg takedown in the clinch as well. Solid uppercut, jab, straight right combination. So he goes uppercut, jab, and then the straight right, and it lands really flush every single time. That's his main weapon in the striking game. And then he gets your back to the cage and just rains it down on you. Usually wants to get you to the cage, rain down on you with strikes. And when you have your guard kind of higher than you're supposed to, you leave your leg exposed, and then he goes for that double leg takedown, gets you down, then grapples, then ground and pounds, everything like that, and tries to get that decision or ground and pound TKO win. Kevin Aguilar, very solid power. Half his wins come in by knockout. Maybe mostly due to his overhand right hand. Not too much of a leg here. Only 10% of his strikes inside of the UFC landing to the leg, and 30% to the body, and the rest to the head. The really good takedown defense of 87%. That is the one thing right there that had me picking Kevin Aguilar originally. That's the main thing. 87% takedown defense. That is amazing takedown defense, especially when you're fighting Tucker Lutz, whose main game plan is to go out there and take you down over and over and over again. So that is why this fight is so close, and that is why the odds just keep on switching over and over and over again. I don't know, man. It's such a close fight right here. I don't know. It's a really close fight, because we know Kevin Aguilar has these skills to defend the takedowns and keep the fight in the striking game, where it'll be very even. He also has a BJJ purple belt, really good rear naked submissions, also some really good ground and pound as well. Good 1-2 combination, likes to walk you down and then land that 1-2 over and over and over. If you land a leg kick on him, just don't try to land leg kicks on him, because he's gonna whack you with a nice overhand or right hand and probably knock you out. But this is a close fight. I mean, I'm so back and forth in this fight. If you guys have any thoughts on who's gonna win, put that in the comment section below, because it is a really close fight between two totally different fighters. Tucker Lutz looking to take him down, looking to wrestle and grapple and ground and pound for 3 straight rounds. Kevin Aguilar looking to defend the takedowns and not grapple, not ground and pound, not wrestle, anything like that, and just strike for 3 straight rounds where he might have the advantage. Man, it's a close one, man. The betting odds right now, I would probably say I probably would say stay away from betting on Tucker Lutz. I think wait just a little bit. If you see any odds for Kevin Aguilar at plus 110, I'd probably put a little bit of money on that. But if you see Tucker Lutz as an underdog, I'd also put some money on that 100%, because both guys, in my opinion, I think have a humongous chance of winning. It's a pretty 50-50 fight. But I'm sort of leaning towards Tucker Lutz just because we know how relentless he is in his wrestling, how much pressure he puts on you when your back is against the cage, and when you have that much pressure going onto you don't really know what you're doing. You're just trying to defend the strikes, and you're not worrying about the wrestling and takedowns from Tucker Lutz. So I think eventually Tucker Lutz will get 2, maybe 3 takedowns in the fight. I think it's super close right here. A 50-50 fight in the lightweight division, but I'm going towards Tucker Lutz to win the fight by 29-28 unanimous decision in the grappling and wrestling game. Man, this was a tough decision. There's a lot of other really tough decisions on the fight card so far, because we have Mike Grundy minus 110, and then Lando Venata at plus 100. We have Jamie Pickett minus 107 and a minus 104. We got Andre Muniz and Ronaldo Souza minus 120, plus 110. Shane Burgos and Ezra Barbosa. I mean, there's so many fights that are under minus 120, minus 130 range that can honestly flip either way. I mean, even Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler is a super close fight. I mean, the whole fight card is filled with so so many close, competitive fights on the fight card, but for that fight right here, I have Kevin Goliath winning his fight. Just kidding. That was my original pick, but just because I think the pressure and the takedowns from Tucker Lutz will be a little bit too much, I have Tucker Lutz winning that fight by 29-28, unanimous decision right there. And then after that, guys, we have Gina Manzani taking on Priscilla Capoeira in the flyweight division. Gina Manzani minus 200 on the betting odds right here. And this is one thing I found really, really funny. You look right here, 32 years, 8 months, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, and 5 days. They are literally the exact same age. I mean, there's no way either fighter is going to have the slightest age advantage here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have an hour age advantage. I have no idea. But literally the same exact day. And now they're going to be fighting each other for the first time right here. That is just, I mean, what are the chances of that happening? Two UFC caliber fighters, the same exact age, like to the day. I mean, that is just absolutely insane. But Gina Manzani, an incredible reach advantage right here. Obviously the same age right there. A little bit smaller than Priscilla Capoeira. But Priscilla Capoeira not doing too good so far inside the UFC. Started with 3 straight losses in a row to Luana Carolina, Molly McCann, and Valentina Shevchenko by second round submission and then unanimous decision with 1 knockout whenever Shayna Dobson, who has a record of 3 wins and 4 losses. So not really the best competition right there. But you look right here, she's trying to knock you out. She's trying to keep the fight in the striking game. Get the knockout, get the TKO, whatever the case may be, with 5 knockout wins and 4 decision wins right there. Gina Manzani is trying to use that reach advantage to keep range, land that 1-2 combination, and every now and then go for the double leg, go for the clinch, whatever the case may be, and then get a takedown right here. But a pretty up and down career so far. Started with 3 straight wins, one in the Ultimate Fighter Season 18. Got a first knockout, joined the UFC, got a first round arm triangle choke submission, lost to Sarah McCann. After that, got a decision whenever Yan Wu, and then a very up and down career since then. But she also has some really, really good power with 4 knockout wins, 1 submission win, and 2 decision wins. So overall, it's a pretty close fight. I think this is a little bit too much at minus 200. I would peg Gina Manzani around maybe minus 165, minus 170, possibly minus 175, but anything above minus 200, I'd probably stay away from betting on Gina Manzani. I'm not sure what the betting odds are right now. Let's see if I can find it. Minus 200, so minus 185 seems pretty reasonable, but other than that, anything over that, I'm minus 227. I'd probably stay away from that right there. But this fight right here, Gina Manzani mainly tries to wrestle and ground and pound in most of her fights. Her striking is also very, very good. 4 KO TKO wins on her record. Blue belt in Jiu-Jitsu and definitely helping her in the grappling and wrestling game. Also some really, really good ground and pound. Amazing control from top position, especially in mount. Using those really, really sharp elbows and then just raining down in mount on top of her opponents. 2 takedowns in every single fight inside of the UFC, with 1 win coming by TKO from ground and pound inside of the UFC. Much better striking accuracy and striking defense than Priscilla Capoeira, with an accuracy of 50% and a defense of 51%. Really good 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 over and over and over again. And once she just keeps on doing that 1-2 over and over and over again, your hands are just naturally going to get higher and higher and higher. And then she's going to shoot for that double leg takedown and get you down, ground and pound you, submit you, whatever the case may be. She's just trying to get you down, ground and pound you, and win the decision, or get the TKO win in the fight. In this fight, she's probably going to want to get the fight to the ground as soon as possible, and get multiple 4, 5, 6, whatever the case may be. Just a lot of takedowns in the fight and dominate with ground and pound for 3 straight rounds. Get the TKO win or a dominant decision win. That's the main way Sierra win in the fight. There is also that possibility that she wants to get the fight on the feet. She will have the striking, she will have the reach advantage, which could help her at range against Priscilla Capoeira. But I think the main way she'll probably win would be to grapple and wrestle, considering I don't think she wants anything to do with Priscilla Capoeira's power that she does have in her hands with 5 knockout wins. I mean, you saw that uppercut knockout whenever Shayna Dobson. The same thing had happened to Gina Manzani. So most likely she's going to want to grapple and wrestle for 3 straight rounds. But Priscilla Capoeira, 2 of her recent losses inside the UFC did Molly McCann and Valentina Shevchenko, both wrestling heavy and grappling heavy losses. Getting submitted in the second round and a decision loss to McCann. So in this fight with Gina Manzani, she's 100% going to be working on that takedown defense over and over and over again. She's gonna want to keep the fight on the feet for as long as possible and make it a striking fight where maybe, just maybe, she has the advantage in the power, maybe in the speed, but not necessarily at range. She just needs to close the distance and then land that big right hand and try to get the knockout, whatever the case may be. But other than that, I just don't see much opportunities for her winning the fight, other than getting the knockout in the first or second round, considering Gina Manzani is just going to play the wrestling and grappling game for 3 straight rounds right here. So overall, I'm going Gina Manzani to win the fight by 29-28, unanimous decision. I don't really agree with the betting odds, as I said at the beginning of the video. The odds right now, minus 185 and then plus 145. Let's see, where do they start the odds at? Minus 300. That is some insane odds. Minus 300 is definitely way too much. But if you can get her anywhere around minus 185, minus 180, anything around that range, which would suffice for a good bet on Gina Manzani right there. And especially if they have any prop bets coming out in the next couple of days, next week, whatever the case may be, that Gina Manzani will win the fight by decision. That'll exponentially make the odds much, much better. So, if that does happen in the next couple of days, I probably put a little bit of money on that one right there. But after that fight right there, we have a 50-50 fight. Jamie Pickett and Jordan Wright. I'm going to say right now, this is literally 50-50. Minus 115 and minus 110. You look at the betting odds right here. Minus 107 and minus 104. So, even on the mean odds for every single one of the betting odds sites, minus 112 for Jamie Pickett, and then for Jordan Wright, minus 111. I mean, there's just 1 point difference from Jordan Wright and Jamie Pickett. I mean, that is just absolutely insane. So, if you are picking the correct guy right here, you can potentially make a lot of money, considering the odds are really 50-50 right here. Jamie Pickett, 32.5 years old, a little bit more of a reach advantage than Jordan Wright at 80-inch reach right there, a 3-inch reach advantage over Jordan Wright in the fight. Jordan Wright coming off his second loss right there. You see 11 wins, 1 loss, but he has 2 losses on his record. One of the losses to Anthony Hernandez. I'm not really too sure what happened, but he did get knocked out pretty cold, and then got knocked out by Joaquin Buckley after that. A very powerful puncher as well. 6 knockout wins and 5 submission wins. Most likely, if a guy like Jordan Wright's gonna win the fight, he's gonna finish the fight. Jamie Pickett, 11 wins and 5 losses right here. 8 knockout wins, 1 submission win, and 2 decision wins. A lot of power in his hands. That's all you really need to know about this guy right here. Had a pretty interesting fight with Tavon Nchukwi. Didn't really do too good in the clinch. That's the main way that Tavon Nchukwi was able to actually win that fight, was to just kind of clinch up on Jamie Pickett and just land a lot of body shots. If you look at these statistics on the fight and how many strikes were landed at range, it was actually really close. Just in the clinch, that's where the That's the worst place for Jamie Pickett in his last fight with Tavon Nchukwi. So, with Jordan Wright and Jamie Pickett right here, I think Jordan Wright would want to maybe clinch up a little bit more than he usually does, and try to get those body shots on Jamie Pickett and do the exact same thing that Tavon Nchukwi just did a couple of months ago, and that seemed to work for Tavon. So, it could potentially work for Jordan Wright in the fight right here. But at range, I think Jamie Pickett will have the advantage, having the reach advantage, having the power advantage in my opinion as well. Jordan Wright may have a little bit better submissions, a really good rear naked choke submission as well. You look right here. Let's see how many of his wins come in by rear naked, arm triangle, and then a rear naked. So most of his submission wins come in by rear naked submission. I don't really see much of a wrestling and grappling fight between these two guys. I mean, both fighters, they're really good strikers. I suppose the fight will be staying on the feet in the striking game. So I think there might be 1-2 takedown attempts, but I don't see much of an opportunity for either guy to get the TKO, to ground and pound, or get the submission win, whatever the case may be. I just see the fight staying on the feet, and one of these two guys knocking the other guy out in the very first round, or getting a dominant decision win. But this should be very interesting. But Jamie Pickett, 9 of his 11 wins from by KO or TKO. Decent wrestling game at 1.5 takedowns per fight on Dana White's Industries and inside of the UFC. Not the best accuracy on his takedowns of 40%, but he just keeps on going because he's attempting pretty much a takedown every single round. So every single round, you should expect Jamie Pickett to attempt a takedown. But do I think that will play the biggest factor here, considering Jordan Wright also has some pretty good takedown defense as well, with 100% takedown defense inside of the UFC. Don't really see this fight going to the ground. I think Jamie Pickett could potentially make it a wrestling-based fight, but I think that the chances that happens are very low right here. I think the fight will stay on the feet. Sorry about that. He's super powerful, straight right hand down the pipe. 1-2, over and over again. Do not get your back to the cage when you got a guy like Jamie Pickett just raining down 1-2 combinations on you. That is going to be a deadly sight to see. If Jamie Pickett can get Jordan Rice back to the cage right there. If he does not manage to get you down, he does have some pretty. If he does manage to get you down, he does have some pretty good ground and pound shots on the ground. Most likely wait for him to win. And just keep the fight at range. Use that 3-inch reach advantage. Land his 1-2 over and over and over again. Avoid the clinch, avoid the wrestling, avoid the grappling, whatever the case may be. Just keep the fight at range and just land that 1-2 over and over and over again. Make it a 29-28 unanimous decision. Jordan Wright, every single win coming by finish. So, I mean, if he's going to win, it probably will be by finish because 11 out of 11 wins, being knockouts or TKO wins or even submission wins in the first or second round. Amazing knees in the clinch. So, I think he might have the clinch advantage over Jamie Pickett because we saw in the last fight, he did have a very, very big weakness against Tavon Chukwui in the clinch. So, Jordan Wright needs to look at that and say, he has a very big weakness in the clinch. So, I'm going to go in the clinch as soon as possible and just clinch out with Jamie Pickett and just body shot, knees to the body over and over and over again. That is where Jamie Pickett has the biggest disadvantage in his striking, in his wrestling, whatever the case may be. So in the fight, Jordan Wright's main way, in my opinion, would be to probably clinch up and then land those knees to the body, those body shots as well, and then just pretty much clinch up the whole entire fight and get a decision win, something like that. I mean, we saw him against Ike Villanueva, I believe his second to last fight, something like that. In the clinch with Ike Villanueva, landed a big elbow over the top and ended up cutting his eye right open. So the same thing could happen right here. He does have a really, really good clinch game. And Jamie Pickett does not have the best clinch game at all. But at range, Jamie Pickett will have the advantage because he's going to be 3 inches longer in the reach department, and he's much more powerful, much faster in my opinion as well. So I think at range, Jamie Pickett will win the fight, and in the clinch, I think Jordan Wright will win the fight. But this is a really, really close fight. 50-50 odds on the betting odds right here. I think it's gonna be really, really close. I think one round will go to each fighter, and then it'll be decided from that last round, the third and final round, and it's gonna be really, really close. I mean, there's so many close fights on the fight card that are just so hard to pick who's gonna win the fight. You just have to watch a lot of film on the guys to really make what your prediction is gonna be, because this fight is gonna be really, really close because they're both really good strikers. They both have a decent clinch game, and pretty even grappling, pretty even wrestling, everything like that. So this should be a really, really interesting fight right here. But I watched a fight with Jamie Pickett and Punahil Soriano, and his head movement looked really, really good, and he started to land that 1-2 combination over and over again against Punahil Soriano, whose reach was way, way less than Jamie Pickett right here. So I think he will keep range on Jordan Wright right here, and just land that 1-2 over and over and over again. Defend the clinch, just did not want anything to do with that clinch with a guy like Jordan Wright. Just keep the fight at range, land that 1-2 over and over and over again, in my opinion. And then the fight will go all the way, and Jamie Pickett will win a super, super close fight by 29-28, unanimous decision right here. And then the betting odds, I mean, man, it's a tough one to do. It's minus 107 and then a minus 104 right here. I'm curious to see where the betting odds will swing in the next couple of days, because at one point there was Jamie Pickett at plus 110, and then at one point there was Jordan Wright at plus 105, something like that. So I'm probably gonna say wait a little bit for the odds. Actually, if you're gonna bet Jordan Wright, I'd probably bet right now at minus 107, because I think the betting odds will favor Jamie Pickett right here. I think in the next couple of days, they will have Jamie Pickett around minus 120, minus 130, somewhere around that range, and Jordan Wright is a plus something, whatever the case may be. So right now, I'd probably put a bet on Jamie Pickett. Wait a couple of days for the Jordan Wright odds to kind of switch over a little bit, and where Jordan Wright is going to have those plus underdog odds, which I think is exactly what's going to happen. I think the underdog will be Jordan Wright. I think the favorite will be Jamie Pickett right here. I mean, already they have him as a slight favorite, minus 120 and minus 110 right there. Minus 110 and then minus 104. So, all the odds either have it as a 50-50 odds, or they're having Jamie Pickett as a super slight favorite, which is exactly what I think is going to happen. So, if you're going to bet on this fight, bet a little bit, because this is a really, really close fight. But if you're betting on Jamie Pickett, now is your chance at minus 107, before the odds kind of switch out a little bit to minus 120, minus 130 for Jamie Pickett right there. But that should be a really, really good middleweight fight right there. Angela Lee and Antonina Shevchenko in the flyweight division. Angela Lee not really doing doing too good in her last couple of fights. She's in the prime of her MMA career at 32 years old. A little bit smaller, but a pretty big reach advantage over Antonina Shevchenko right here. The 12th best flyweight fighter in the world on a 3-fight losing streak after Roxanne Modafferi by decision, Lauren Murphy by decision, and then Joanne Calderwood also by decision right there. Split decision, and then a unanimous decision loss right there. The striking should be very, very even right here. I'll give the slight edge in the striking game, probably to Antonina Shevchenko. I mean, her sister is Valentina Shevchenko. She's obviously gonna have really, really good Muay Thai, really good striking as well. Andrea Lee does have a really good wrestling and grappling though. That is the one thing that I'd probably look at the odds at minus 180, plus 145. I'd probably say don't put a bet on Antonina Shevchenko right here. Let's see if I can find the odds right now. So minus 170 for Antonina, and then plus 164 for Andrea Lee right here. Right now, I'd probably say stay away from Antonina Shevchenko, because I think there is a pretty good possibility that Andrea Lee goes out there and just wrestles and grapples for 3 straight rounds. We know she does land a couple of takedowns every single fight, and is a really, really good grappling game as well. I'm pretty sure she has a BJJ brown belt. Yeah, brown belt in judo and a BJJ brown belt under Helson Gracie, and also a very high ranking Muay Thai. So in this fight right here, she's probably going to want to get the fight on the ground, get the takedown over and over and over again, and ground and pound, and grapple, and go for submission after submission after submission. That is what kind of makes me a little bit weary on who I'm going to pick right here, because I know Andrea Lee has a really good wrestling, a really good grappling, really good BJJ. That's the one thing that's kind of making me think, should you really put any money on Antonina Shevchenko at these big of odds, considering, you know, the wrestling and grappling pedigree of Andrea Lee right here? And my answer to that would probably be no. I'd probably wait till they're around minus 160, minus 155, somewhere around the range for Antonina Shevchenko. Do I think the odds will ever get there? I don't really think so. I think this fight is one where you probably stay away from the fight. If you're going to bet on Antonina Shevchenko, probably stay away from the fight. And if you're betting on Andrea Lee, I would say now's probably your chance at plus 164. Seems like some really, really good odds right there. But I would probably stay away from betting on Antonina Shevchenko, considering the wrestling and grappling that Andrea Lee will bring to the table in this fight right here. She has 4 submission wins, 2 knockout wins, and 5 decision wins right there. Antonina Shevchenko, most of her wins coming by decision, 5 decision wins, 3 knockout wins, and 1 submission win right there. A second round, a TKO win over Ariane Lipsky, a second round submission win over Lucy Budilova, and then a decision win over Ji Young Kim right there. Both fighters are Muay Thai fighters. Both fighters in the striking game is going to be very, very even. Obviously, I'm going to give a slight edge to Antonina Shevchenko. She does have some pretty good takedown defense as well. What was her takedown defense? I believe it was around 60%. Antonina Shevchenko, solid takedown accuracy of 60%. I'm not takedown defense of 60% as well. So 60% accuracy and 60% takedown defense, which is very, very good. Could help her keep the fight on the feet as well. Has been training in combat sports for 20 years, 11-time world champion in Muay Thai, professional Muay Thai record of 40 wins and 1 loss. So whatever you say about this fight, she wants to get the fight on the feet 100%. Really good 1-2 combination as well. Really good knees in the clinch, a really good ground and pound, a really good striking. I mean, she's a very accurate striker as well. 56% of her strikes landing, and a lot of really good straight left hands as well. So obviously she's gonna want to get the fight on the feet. Being an 11-time Muay Thai world champion, 40 wins and 1 loss, she's gonna want to get the fight on the feet 100%. Andrea Lee is gonna want to get the fight to the ground as soon as possible and wrestle and grapple. Use that BJJ brown belt and that brown belt in judo as well to get the fight to the ground and grapple and wrestle for 3 straight rounds. So, again, as I said before, do not bet on this fight unless you're pretty confident in the underdog and Andrea Lee winning. If you have Antonina Shevchenko winning the fight and you're putting money on her, I'd probably say do not do that, because I think that the odds are way too spread out considering the wrestling and grappling pedigree of Andrea Lee right here. But my overall prediction, obviously, is going to be Antonina Shevchenko winning the fight by decision, probably 29-28, considering her striking is much, much better. 40-1 as a Muay Thai fighter, really good 1-2 combinations, an amazing, powerful straight left hand, and then follows it up with amazing ground and pound, a really good pressure. I mean, her kicks, her body kicks, her leg kicks, her outside leg kicks as well. Her head kicks are even really, really good. So overall, I think in these striking games, she will have the advantage and win the fight like 29-28 unanimous decision. But again, do not bet on her. Just do not bet on her. That is the one thing and the one advice I will give you for this fight right here. But after that fight right here, we have Lando Venata fighting Mike Grundy in the featherweight division right here. Mike Grundy, 12 wins and 2 losses. A super slight favorite at minus 125. 34 years old, 5 foot 7 inches tall, and a reach of 72 inches right there. Lando Venata, minus 105, so a 50-50 fight yet again on the fight card. 29 years old, in the prime of his MMA career. 5 foot 9 inches tall, so a little bit taller than Mike Grundy right here. The tablet prediction is pretty close, 64% and 36% right there. Lando Venata, 11 wins, 5 losses, and 2 draws. Had a crazy fight earlier in his career against Tony Ferguson on short notice. When Tony Ferguson was like the 3rd, 4th, or 5th best lightweight fighter in the world, and he went out there and he looked really good. I believe he got a knockdown on Tony Ferguson, absolutely insane. Follow that up with a first round wheel kick knockout win over John McDessie. A couple draws here, which is very interesting. Is Matt Favola and Bobby Green right there. Beat Yancy Medeiros, beat Marcos Mariano. But he has really good striking. He wants to get the fight in the striking game. And surprisingly, even though he is a striker, has a lot of submission wins on his record so far, with 5 submission wins, 4 knockout wins, and 2 decision wins. Mike Grundy probably going to be wanting to wrestle and grapple for 3 straight rounds. Need another decision win or an arm triangle straight submission win, maybe a guillotine, something like that. A lot of dart strokes, a lot of arm triangle straight submission wins on his record so far. 8 submission wins, 1 KO TKO win, and 3 decision wins. So you know what both fighters is gonna do in the fight. Mike Grundy gonna go for takedown after takedown after takedown, grapple, wrestle, ground and pound, and go for the arm triangle, go for the darts, whatever the case may be. Lando Venata gonna want to defend the takedowns, keep the fight in the striking game, and win the fight by decision or get a knockout win in the fight. Those are the main 2 things I see both fighters doing right here. Mike Grundy is obviously going to want to get the fight to the ground, 8 submission wins, and then there's only 1 win coming by KO TKO. Most of his submission wins are chokes like arm triangle, guillotine, and then the dart choke, and so on. Amazing striking defense, really good head movement of 60% defense. Lando Venata's defense is not really too good, mainly because of the Tony Ferguson fight, but aside from that, his defense, or his striking defense, is pretty good, but both of them have pretty even striking defense. His straight right hand down the pipe is really good. We saw him against Nat Naramani. He was the underdog in the fight, but went out there, landed that straight right hand right down the pipe and knocked him out cold. Really good 1-2 combination puncher. Not the best volume. That's the one thing I don't really like about Mike Grundy. He does not put the volume that I would really want to see from a guy like Mike Grundy in the fight. He's just trying to set up. He's trying to use his striking to set up the takedown, get you down, grapple, ground and pound, whatever the case may be. But he just doesn't put enough volume in the striking game. Solid wrestling game as well, getting 6 takedowns inside of the UFC against Movsar Evloev. The 6 takedowns against Movsar Evloev, a top 15 featherweight fighter in the world. A really good clinch, really good knees to the body, really good punches to the body, right hand to the body as well. Not really too many leg kicks as well. 100% wants to wrestle and grapple in the fight, or he will have the advantage. But Lando Venata is also really good in the grappling and wrestling game. This is why I am kind of leaning towards Lando Venata. I'm gonna say it right now. I had the underdog winning the fight in Lando Venata right here. He's a BJJ brown belt, which really is going to help him in the fight. Fighting a guy like Mike Grundy, who wants to take you down, who wants to ground and pound, who wants to get the submission, my arm triangle, my dart stroke, whatever the case may be. But he has a BJJ brown belt, which is definitely going to help him in the fight. Throws double the volume as Mike Grundy does, which is just absolutely insane. In my opinion, will 100% give him the edge in the striking game. Decent wrestling skills, 1 takedown every single fight inside the UFC. His accuracy, not really too good, around 40%, but his takedown defense being pretty okay, around 50% right there. 100% wants the fight to stay on the feet. Grundy is obviously going to try to get you down, try to get the dart stroke, trying to get the arm triangle, whatever the case may be. But Lando Venata, with that BJJ brown belt, is going to do pretty good at defending those submissions and getting the fight right back up in the striking game, where he will have the advantage in my opinion. Really crazy kicks in his arsenal. Spinning a kick to the body. Spinning the wheel kick that he had at the beginning of his career. Absolutely insane right here. Against who was it against? John McDessie, wheel kick knockout. Just clipping him on the forehead. Absolutely insane. He will have the size advantage as well. Moving from the lightweight division to the featherweight division right there. Pretty powerful striker as well, and he can take a punch from you. He has a really good chin as well. The fight's gonna be very even. There's so many fights on here. They're just so 50-50. Jamie Pickett, Jordan Wright, 50-50. Lando Venata, Mike Grundy, 50-50. Kevin Gouliard, Tucker Lutz, 50-50. Let me see. Andre Muniz or Ronaldo Souza 50-50. Shane Burgos, Edson Barbosa 50-50. The main event, Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler 50-50. I mean, all these fights are so close on the betting odds right here. But for this fight right here, Lando Venata and Mike Grundy, just at the odds that they have them right here at -110 and then +100. Personally, I have Lando Venata winning the fight, but once the prop bets do come out for the fighters actually winning the fight by decision, I would hop on that 100% for Lando Venata winning the fight by decision. I assume it'd probably be around +165, +170, somewhere around that range. But if you guys can get any prop bets for Lando Venata winning the fight by decision, that'd be a really good bet right there. Considering the fight is a 50-50 fight, in my opinion, +100 odds are some really good odds, but They have been a little bit better. I mean, you look at what they were just a couple of days ago, +146, which is some insane odds right there. So I'd probably wait just a little bit to see the odds. I'm kind of spread out a little bit for Mike Grundy to be the favorite over Lando Venata right here. So I think in the next couple of days, the odds for Lando Venata will be around +110, +115, and that is probably when I would say put a straight bet on Lando Venata, or wait till the prop bets come out and put a straight bet on Lando Venata winning the fight by decision right there. But overall, I do have Lando Venata winning the fight. I think his takedown defense will be enough to keep the fight on the feet. A BJJ Bravo as well, which will help him with the wrestling and grappling game. We'll have the striking advantage, the power advantage, the volume advantage as well. So I think overall in the striking game, he will have the advantage. Keep the fight on the feet due to his takedown defense and his wrestling and BJJ as well. And overall, I think it will be overall a very close fight. But I'm sort of leaning towards the underdog right here in Lando Venata to win the fight by 29-28. Unanimous decision. We got Matt Schnell and Rogerio Montani in this fight in the flyweight division right here. Matt Schnell, the 9th best flyweight fighter in the world, the -165 slight favorite in the fight. This fight is short notice. Matt Schnell was supposed to fight Alex Perez. That fight did get canceled. And now Rogerio Montani stepping in on 3 weeks notice right here, which is a decent amount of time, but he's not going to get the full training camp that you usually do for your fights right here. So this should be a very interesting flyweight fight right here. Matt Schnell, much taller and much lengthier, 31 years old, 5'8" tall, 72.5-inch reach. Just look at that right there, 5.5-inch reach advantage, and then a 3-inch height advantage over Rogerio Montani. Absolutely insane. We already know what Rogerio Montani is going to do. He's not going to want to keep the fight in the striking game because, in my opinion, Matt Schnell will have the advantage, having the height, and especially that reach right there. Absolutely insane. So, usually what Rogerio Montani does is he goes out there, keeps it even in the striking game, then just goes in you with a 1-2, overhand right hand, gets your hands a little bit higher than they usually are, and then goes for a double leg, tries to get the body lock, and then trip you down for a takedown, anything like that, then ground up on you, and then try to get the submission. But that's the main thing I really see Rogerio Montani trying to do in this fight right here. 16 wins at 3 losses. In his last fight with Kai Kara-France, he did a pretty good job at the beginning, getting him down, I believe, 2 or 3 times with takedowns right against the cage, and almost got the submission. The fight went back up on the feet, and then he did end up getting knocked out. But usually in his fights, he gets you down and he submits you. Look right there, 11 submission wins, 3 KO TKO wins, and 2 decision wins. Out of his losses, are really spread out. 1 knockout loss, 1 submission loss, and 1 decision loss right there. So obviously his main way of winning, just take Matt Schnell down over and over again and just wrestle and grapple for 3 straight rounds to either get a decision win or get another submission win. If you look at how he gets his submissions, it's mainly by rear naked or armbar submission. So that's the main way I see him. If he does get the submission, those would be the 2 main ways that I see him getting it. But it's going to be very hard to get a submission on a guy like Matt Schnell. I believe has never been submitted right here. Actually got submitted 1 time by Tim Elliott, but I don't blame him. That's Tim Elliott right there. That's the only time he's ever been submitted in his professional MMA career. Wow, never mind. He's got a guillotine choke submission loss. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but the thing you need to know is Matt Schnell's not only a striker, but also has some really grappling skills. We saw in his last fight with Tyson Nam. Showed some amazing striking. Did not go for 1 takedown in the entire fight. Just used that range and had Tyson Nam going for that big right hand and just dodging over and over again. Just using that range, using that height as well to just keep on tagging him with jabs. 1-2, leg kicks over over and over and over again. And overall on his record, only has 2 knockout wins, a lot of submission wins as well, and then 4 decision wins right there. But in the striking game, I do have Matt Schnell having the advantage, just with that height, with that reach, just watching what he did in his last fight with Tyson Nam. That's going to give him a humongous advantage in the striking game, and especially because Rogerio Bontorin might be a little bit hesitant to go for a takedown on Matt Schnell, because he does have a really good triangles and guillotines from the bottom as well. It might kind of limit the amount of times that Rogerio Bontorin will be actually going for the takedowns in the fight, but overall, that will be his main way of actually winning. He's going to have to go for the takedowns eventually if he does want to win the fight. So I think Rogerio Bontorin is just going to go out there, just keep on trying for takedowns, try to get some trips against the cage, double legs in the middle of the cage as well. Matt Schnell just trying to keep range, make it more of a striking fight. I think in the wrestling and the strength will go to Rogerio Bontorin, but these submission skills maybe going to Matt Schnell, and then the striking obviously going to Matt Schnell as well. So this is going to be a pretty close fight, I believe. It is another short notice fight for Rogerio Bontorin, coming in on only 3 weeks of notice. Matt Schnell has a little bit better cardio, looks a little fresher in the later rounds as well. I'm probably leaning towards Matt Schnell in this one. In my opinion, if I were to have a betting odds system just for me, picking what the betting odds would be for the fight, I'd probably have Matt Schnell around minus 155. Not much different than the odds they have right now at minus 165, but I think it's a little bit too much having above a minus 160, anything around that range. The betting odds right now, let's see if we can find it right here. Minus 160, plus 140. So the best odds you can get Matt Schnell at right now are at minus 154, which I believe in 100%. Minus 154 is some really, really good odds. So if you can get him around anything around minus 155, I think that would be a really, really good bet. And if you're betting on Rogerio Bontorin, I'd probably wait till he gets above plus 150, plus 160. At one point he was at plus 160. So if he does eventually go back to that point, that would be a decent underdog pick. Anything above plus 160, but where they have him at now at plus 136, I'd probably just stay away from that one right there. Overall, I do have Matt Schnell winning. I think he most likely just going to keep arranging the striking, just keep on using his height, using his reach, just 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, outside leg kicks over and over and over again, just defend the takedowns with guillotines, with triangles, whatever the case may be. I think the fight will go all the way. We don't have any prop bets for this fight right here, but if there are any prop bets for either Matt Schnell or Rogerio Bontorin, whatever the case may be, either one of them winning the fight by decision, I'd probably hop on that, because personally, sorry, I think the fight will go all the way, and one of these two guys eventually will win the fight by decision. But right now they don't have any prop bets. But once they do, comment in the comment section below what the betting odds are that the fight goes to decision, and I'll tell you if that's a good bet to make. But personally, I think if it's anything in the pluses for Matt Schnell winning the fight by decision, I'd probably hop on that right there. But yeah, my prediction for that fight is definitely going to be Matt Schnell winning by decision. And if you want to pause your screen right now and just look over this right here, you can if you want to. This is just all the research that I did. I didn't really go over the doc in the video right here, but if you want to pause it, you can look over this stuff right here. We got Ronaldo Souza and Andre Muniz. Man, this is a good fight. I mean, it's a very even fight. You look at Ronaldo Souza, 26 wins and 9 losses, and he's 10 years older than Andre Muniz right here at 41 and a half years old. Same height, and an incredible reach advantage for Andre Muniz right here at 78 inches, 6 inches longer than Ronaldo Souza. Absolutely insane right there. A little bit of a favorite, a very, very slight favorite. The betting odds have kind of been switching back and forth every now and then. The best odds you can get Ronaldo Souza at right now are at minus 105. Some of these odds makers have Andre Muniz as a favorite. Some of them have Ronaldo Souza as a favorite. It's just pretty 50-50 on the betting odds right here. So right now they're at minus 120. I think that's a good place to get Ronaldo Souza, especially if you can get him around minus 105. I think that's a really, really good bet right there. And anywhere around, maybe around plus 120 for Andre Muniz, I'd probably put a small straight bet right there. Considering this is a very 50-50, very close fight right here. But if you are on Bet Online and you see these odds right here for minus 105, just shoot up in the last couple of hours from minus 125 to minus 105. I probably put a couple of dollars right there. Overall, a very, very good fight. Both fighters have a lot of submission wins, a lot of TKO wins as well. 17 submission wins, 5 KO TKO wins, and 4 decision wins right there. He's fought everyone. I mean, you look at his career so far: Jagger, Jan Blachowicz, Kevin Holland, Chris Weidman, Kelvin Gastelum, Derek Brunson, Robert Whittaker, Vitor Belfort, Yoel Romero, Gegard Mousasi, Derek Brunson again, Luke Rockhold, Tim Kennedy, Robbie Lawler, Gegard Mousasi again. I mean, all these guys, he's been fighting forever, fighting so many beasts in this middleweight and light heavyweight division. Andre Muniz, so 24 professional MMA fights, being much younger, and then much longer in terms of the reach than Ronaldo Souza right here, with 20 wins and 4 losses right there. All of his losses coming by knockout, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what it said. Yeah, 4 knockout losses, so he's definitely going to have a pretty big worry factor on the striking game, because we do know that Ronaldo Souza does have some pretty good power in his right hand. He can definitely get a knockout right here on Andre Muniz, but that could be a possibility right here. Andre Muniz, a lot of submission wins on his record as well, with 13 submission wins, 4 knockout wins, and 3 decision wins. You look at how he wins those fights: arm triangle, guillotine, guillotine, triangle, guillotine, over and over again. So the main way, if he's gonna get the submission, I'd probably say it'd probably be an arm triangle or a guillotine choke submission. If Ronaldo Souza would probably get the submission in the fight, I'm not really sure. He has so many different types of submissions: guillotines, arm triangle, Kimura submissions. Got a lot of Kimura submissions on his record so far. A lot of arm bars and Kimuras. I really don't know how either fighter would win the fight by submission. I think it's very possible. There could be a submission here, but I think when you have two really good grapplers, it kind of makes them think a little bit once or twice if they want to go to the ground with that other guy. And maybe, like, we've seen some of the fights where they have two really good wrestlers, like Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. They just don't even wrestle. Like, that fight right there, they didn't go for one takedown. Kept the fight in the striking game for 5 straight rounds, until eventually the better striker in Kamaru Usman ended up winning the fight. The same thing could happen here. I'm not sure if that will. I don't really know. Ronaldo Souza, we saw it in his last fight with Kevin Holland. He did get 2 takedowns on Kevin Holland, and quite honestly, probably would have won the fight if it weren't for those devastating ground and pound shots from the bottom from Kevin Holland. He probably would have grinded Kevin Holland out for the rest of the rounds, and did exactly what Derek Brunson and Vettori did to Kevin Holland in their fights right there. But Ronaldo Souza, it's gonna be much harder trying to do what he usually does, get you down, just kind of grapple with you for 3 straight rounds, and then get the decision or submission win. It's gonna be much harder facing another really good grappler, another really good submission guy, BJJ guy, wrestler type of guy right here in Andre Muniz. This is honestly a 50-50 fight in my opinion. Could go either way. I'm pretty stuck on who I'm picking for this one, because we have both guys are really good grapplers. A 10-year age advantage for Andre Muniz, and then a 6-inch height advantage for Andre Muniz. I mean, that alone could give you the win for Andre Muniz. There are some other factors, like Ronaldo Souza does have more power in his hands as well. He's better in the clinch, has a lot of experience over much better competition than Andre Muniz does have in his career so far. So that experience, UFC, inside of the UFC, 17 submission wins, has fought all of these guys right here. I mean, that is literally 4 lines of tags amount of the guys that he's fought inside the UFC and inside of Strikeforce. I mean, that is just absolutely insane. I'd probably give him a slight grappling advantage, averaging 2.6 takedowns every single fight. The same average as on Andre Muniz, but he was fighting the better competition. I mean, all these guys right here, much better competition, landing at the same exact rate. Actually, 5% better takedown defense. I'm at 60% takedown defense, which is also better than Muniz. The fight with Kevin Holland, as I said before, it was about to dominate the fight. If it weren't for those ground and pound shots from the bottom, he would have dominated and won the fight and been in the top 10 of the middleweight division. And who knows what would happen after that? But we all know what happened. He got knocked out from the bottom. In this fight, he's probably gonna have a. I don't know if he's gonna get the submission from the top. I'm probably gonna say, in my opinion, that the fight will go all the way. As I said before, when you have 2 really good submission and grappling guys, usually you don't see a submission, but he might have a little bit better striking than Andre Muniz. In the clinch, definitely going to have the advantage, just having that power, those shots to the body, the right overhand right hand on Andre Muniz right here. But at range, Muniz will have the advantage. I'm considering that 8-inch reach advantage. Absolutely insane. I mean, how do you have an 8-inch reach advantage over Ronaldo Souza? But in the clinch, he's going to do really good to get the body lock, just like he did against Kevin Holland, get the fight down and ground and pound over and over again. So I think the main way Ronaldo Souza wins the fight, just clinch up and either just keep on landing shots in the clinch or eventually get that body lock takedown on Andre Muniz in the fight and try to get the decision or submission win right here, or maybe a ground and pound TKO, whatever the case may be. But Andre Muniz, also really good submission game, 13 submission wins, mainly by guillotine and triangle show submission. 78-inch reach, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, just at range. He just keeps on going for that 1-2 combination over and over again. Not really the best striking so far inside the UFC. We haven't really seen him keep the fight in the striking game. He honestly, sometimes he lets his opponents take him down, then he reverses them, like he did against, I believe, Bartosz Babinski in his last fight. But in this fight right here, I mean, he has 4 knockout losses on his record. I think in this fight, there could be moments where Ronaldo Souza does catch him with a big right hand, possibly knocks him out, possibly gets the TKO, the ground and pound, whatever the case may be. But I think overall, in the striking, the power, the strength, the clinch advantage, all going to Ronaldo Souza. The only advantage in the striking game would be Andre Muniz at range, but we know Ronaldo Souza has so much experience. He's not going to go out there and keep the fight at range. He knows he's not going to be doing good at range, so he's going to close the distance, get the fight to the clinch where he does have the advantage, and overall, I think he can honestly keep the fight in the clinch for 3 straight rounds and get a decision win, but mix that in with the body lock takedown, with the wrestling, with the grappling, everything like that. I think overall, the veteran, 41-year-old UFC Strikeforce veteran, and Ronaldo Souza will be winning this fight right here. This is gonna be a really, really good fight. I don't know, man. It's definitely possible Andre Muniz could get the submission right here. Do not count on Andre Muniz. I'm just gonna say that. But I'm going Ronaldo Souza slightly to get a 29-28 unanimous decision win right here. Obviously the betting odds being 50-50 -105. I mean, some of these odds have Andre Muniz as a favorite. You look right here on Bet Online. That's a bet. If you guys are on Bet Online, put a bet on Ronaldo Souza, because these are the best odds that you're probably going to be getting Ronaldo Souza at -105, just out of nowhere. I mean, I'm guessing a couple of guys a couple of hours ago put some money on Andre Muniz, like a bunch of money on Andre Muniz at +110, whatever the case may be, and then just switch those lines up that badly. I mean, -105 for Ronaldo Souza is a really, really good bet. I do think the fight will go all the way. I'm curious to see what the prop bets will be for Ronaldo Souza winning by submission, for Ronaldo Souza winning by KO TKO, and for Ronaldo Souza winning by decision. Once the prop bets do come out for that fight right there, just put it in the comment section below what the actual prop bets are, and I'll tell you if that's a good bet or not. But this should be a really, really good fight right there. Overall, I'm going to go Ronaldo Souza to win the fight by 29-28 in a really, really close unanimous decision.